Good now, revolutionaries, and welcome to the Rise Up Morning Show. Today is Monday, October 6th, and I am pleased to report that over the weekend, late at night for me, I got the alert from CoinGecko that, yes, indeed, our friend Bitcoin hit a new all-time high. According to Yahoo, it was
so nice.
$125,000 is what I got from Yahoo, and $125,700 is what I've seen other places. That's the highest I've seen. Will, did you see anything higher than $125,700?
Let me tell you right here. I saw $125,725.
$125,700 gone. Bitcoin all-time high. And today, right now, we are approaching
725.
What? Huh? Oh,
725.
125,725.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh my gosh, too many 25s, Bitcoin. And right now, according to the Gecko, it's sitting at $124,380. And I don't know about you, Will, but I would say that's looking like a pretty strong, lovely, beautiful green chart.
Yeah, what I'll say is the chart on the weekly and monthly time frame looks super strong.
Yeah.
Which is great. I love seeing that. I think we all love seeing that in October because it usually means that good, happy, fun times are coming for the market for, Thanksgiving and Christmas time.
Okay, talk a little more about that. I know we've got Market Watch tonight, so you'll probably be digging in super deep on this kind of thing, but we got to talk a lot also over the weekend about the kinds of things you're excited for, the kinds of things you're seeing. I saw your video and got your messages about the total 3 being on fire, and you just seemed really excited about everything. Excited about altcoins, excited about Bitcoin.
Yeah, because
update.
Because I think there's a part of me that was just not really expecting a lot, like a real big swing for altcoins in like the old way we used to feel it, where you would see altcoins just flying across the board. It's 2017 and all the Ponzi schemes are up 20x. I'm not expecting that. I'm really expecting the majority of gains to be in coins that have ETFs, but I wasn't really expecting to see the potential for those altcoins in particular to do so well. And when I saw this on Total 3, and for those of you who don't know what the Total 3 chart is it shows you the market cap of all cryptocurrencies minus Ethereum and minus Bitcoin. So if you're used to stocks, this is like looking at the Russell 2000. That shows you the more risk-on side of the market. And this shows you all the altcoins. And what I'm seeing here is I saw that we're in this like expanding funnel here, these pink lines. And I see that the current market cap of Total 3 is sitting on this previous high and also this previous high. And if it can hold that, there's the possibility that we just go up and start working on challenging this high zone of this pattern. Now, I'm not waiting on that. I'm not gonna say in my head I'm expecting that, because that's essentially going from $1.16 trillion to, if we were to go up by December, that would be to 1.65 trillion. So $500 billion increased in market cap, by Christmas is a crazy thing to kind of think and say, right? But if there's a lot of mania in the ETFs, I guess it's possible. And so what I say is I want to really be specific, is that I'm excited by the potential. Like the potential that I'm seeing in the chart here is very, very large for altcoins, but I'm not building a strategy around that. I'm going to be taking heavy profits on the way up well before that. I'm not, counting on that type of thing, but the potential is very, very exciting, particularly because just look at how overbought these other traditional markets are, that like the stock market is just up and to the right and it's fairly overextended, but gold is, even more so. Gold is crazily overextended, very overbought on its relative strength index. And you have, even a gap all the way down here back in this consolidation zone for gold as well. This gap right here at $3,465. So, you have these really overbought, overextended markets, and you have Bitcoin that hasn't really had that opportunity to run super aggressively yet. And same with altcoins. And you're going to have the traditional market with these big old bags of money from these assets doing so well. They're going to go like, hey, what's the next thing that I can invest in that hasn't already popped off? Because gold's a lot, silver's expensive, stocks are kind of overvalued right now. It's Bitcoin. And then you're going to have all these altcoins pop off. And this is a retail-led market this year to the nth degree, so by a degree of about $140 billion difference between inflows of retail to institutions this year to the positive for retail. Retail loves altcoins. And so give them some altcoin ETFs and they might take their gold profits and their silver profits and their stock profits and go, hey, I'm going to put it into this undervalued asset and then go, great. And so like the potential here is wonderful. And we have rate cuts and now we just need the government to turn on so that the SEC can say, hey, yeah, these ETFs can get approved. So yeah, that'd be great.
That would be nice. Speaking of needing the government to turn on, we have to give a shout out to our friend, Commissioner Hester Peirce, who, though she was legally not supposed to work, I'm pretty sure, makes time to respond to people she has appointments with. This is the kind of commissioner she is. She sent us an email over the weekend, a personal email. What a gem, to say, hey, I know we were scheduled for Monday, and I am so sorry about all the back and forth you've had, but thank you for your patience with rescheduling. And I was like, just like Web3 Glossary said in the comments, you apologize to no one. I was thinking Aragorn, my friends.
Yes.
You bow to no one. I just told it, you're so kind, but your staff's on top of it. They let us know you probably weren't going to make the interview if you weren't supposed to work. So you can look forward to Commissioner Peirce returning to the Rise Up Morning Show when the government in the United States also chooses to return. And, we'll figure it out when it happens. In the meantime, if you've got a crypto question, if you want to talk about something in the news, or you're just here to have a good time, then leave a comment, let us know, and then tune into Rise Up Market Watch tonight. We've got more macro market news that make the crypto markets and everything else around you move, including, Bearded reminds us, cattle. Don't forget cattle with...
Always long beef.
Always long beef with Will and Doug, a.k.a. Von, a.k.a. the bathroom guy, a.k.a. Why do I have so many nicknames, guys? Sorry, Doug. We don't make the rules here.
No, more nicknames.
For folks wondering, is going to be joining us shortly. He's had an extra long school morning routine today, and you gotta be a parent first, those kind of things. So you're hanging out with us, and we've already got a couple of good questions rolling in, Will. I would love to address this question from Jason. Hello, Jason. Thanks for tuning into the show. Who asks, does anybody have thoughts on Kraken's blue chip top 10 crypto?
Ooh.
If you good or bad. Have you seen these products yet, Will? And if not, I'll be glad to read you in a little bit on it. This is something Kraken has introduced called bundles. Are you hip to this?
No, but is it like a crypto mutual fund? That's what it sounds like.
It's like an index. I don't know if it's a mutual fund specifically, but basically, in effect, yeah, it's multiple assets, one thing you buy. And this is the kind of thing we're starting to see a lot more of. Remember, we had Glider on the show, and they have this whole dashboard of DeFi products where in a single click, you can buy like 50% Bitcoin, 50% ETH in a single token. Or we talked about Reserve last week on the show. We talked about Carrot several times last week on the show. This is kind of like that. Or if you buy index funds, mutual funds through Robinhood, then Kraken bundles will be familiar to you. And lots of exchanges, we think, are going to start rolling out products like this, where it will give you a way to instantly invest in a diversified portfolio. And in the case of Jason's question, he was asking about the crypto blue chip fund, which is the top 10 crypto assets by market cap, equally weighted and bundled into one auto-balanced portfolio. They also have the Duo, which is what they're calling a 70-30 split of BTC and ETH. But then they've got others too. They've got the US Strategic Reserve Bundle. And this is a product for you if you are a Kraken user or don't mind doing KYC, meaning know your customer protocols, where you send in your driver's license, they verify your identity, that kind of thing. And if you like this kind of, just want to diversify, just want to get exposure to crypto, just want to make it simple approach, don't want to think about what to buy, what to sell, don't want to trade as the market goes up and down, this could be you. Especially if you're used to something like Robinhood or M1 or, Webull. And they've got a whole website for it here, kraken.com/features/bundles that we will put in the description for the show note. And I'm curious personally if you can build your own bundles or if bundles
that's
are
called just buying spot.
Yeah.
That's how you build your own bundle.
And the answer is no. Bundles are
fixed.
Can I use bundles with Kraken Plus? Yes. Kraken Plus members get fee-free conversions. Yeah, so there's fees. They have questions about recurring buys. And like I say, I'd be interested to know how on-chain this kind of thing is. I don't think it's on-chain at all. I think this is really, truly like a custodial product, meaning you don't directly own Bitcoin or Ethereum if you buy the Bitcoin and Ethereum bundle. So...
And can I just say that the graphics that they used felt like a really, really, really exciting, finely tuned, like one of those moving dynamic NFT projects at the very tail end of when NFTs were super hot in like 2020, 2021.
Yeah.
It felt like it was nice to see. I was like, ooh, yeah, exactly. I was like, oh, this is nice. But I think it's a good product. I think it's pretty cool that they have it because, for a lot of people just want to get into crypto simply. I would prefer it if that bundle was more like, hey, 20% Bitcoin and then 10% everything else. Because, we've seen the top 10 cryptos change quite a bit it's about every 3 years, the top 10 crypto looks pretty damn different, with the exception of Bitcoin and Ethereum and now XRP, I guess. Because XRP has been in there for a while. So is Cardano. Actually, no. When did Cardano break into the top 10? It's been in the top 10 for the past 4 years.
Yeah, at least it seems like.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
This is a good time to tell people in podcast land he has appeared because he's probably got a take on it. Our friend Alex Popovich, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here. No, don't be sorry at all. We are glad to see you. We made time for you, and I was going to give you some sort of entrance, but then you snuck right in, so don't even worry about it.
Several shout outs. One, alarm clocks that inexplicably don't go off. Two, children, like my sweet child, who let me drive all the way around the entire school after we were super late and finally got there. Let me drive all the way around the school to the place where I drop him off for the bus to then ask me, why are we so far away from the door?
Tell me why.
To which I said, where's the door, sweet child? And he said, all the way on the other side of the school. You drove past it several minutes ago. I was like, I'm really glad that you told me. Thank you so much. And then the final shout out to the dog that steps in his own shit outside and then tracks it all throughout the house. And I don't discover him until after he's already jumped into my bed. So,
damn. What a day.
In your bed?
Yep. Happy to be here.
What a morning.
It's Monday.
Wow, that's like the mundanest Monday in a minute.
Yeah, and guess what? I finished Red Rising, and it's good. But
no shit, Will.
It's nothing like amazing, but it's good.
All right, stop. Every word is like a dagger.
The first book is excellent.
Oh my gosh.
First book is excellent. Second book, largely forgettable. Pierce Brown's mainly a thief, and yeah, it's great.
Alex, do you before you get one more shout out for having to throw the book at will, do you have a shout out for Kraken on this idea of a bundled product, or do you want to make a commentary generally on we're seeing a lot of this stuff, and I was going to pull up another example in a second, but need your take.
Not to exhaust whatever points you guys made as I was scrambling to get here, but I think it's cool from one perspective. That it kind of normalizes the whole idea. It makes things feel like they can be more investable. So in that sense, kind of neat. now what we as an industry have to do is make the things go into bundles worthy of people's investment. So, some work to be done there.
Yeah, and I think that work is going to be done by folks like our friends at Glider. For everybody who doesn't recall, we had an episode with Glider in May when we were at Permissionless, and Brian came on the show and debuted their dashboard, and I've got it here, although I don't know that it's going to work too well because I don't have incognito mode on, but they allow you to build your own bundled products or log into their bundled products in your portfolio at glider.fi. They're still in beta. But the reason I bring this one up is because it's an alternative to Kraken that is on chain, meaning you can use self-custody, bring your own crypto wallet to it, send the assets, somewhere else. You own this stuff in the form of a token, as opposed to like a username that you are allowed to access on somebody else's platform. They hold the assets for you, kind of thing. So if you're interested in doing this in a more decentralized way, you definitely can. And it's a spectrum, but a lot of it is more centralized than you think here in crypto land. Bearded says, I find it hard to believe that when dropping them off, you said, "Where's the door, my sweet child?"
That is correct. I did not say that. I said something else.
Oh my gosh.
But sweet child was part of it.
Sweet child. Rada, thank you for the comment about the lights. I will tell you one more time, Rada, I see your comments about ZK. Can you send me a link? And ladies and gentlemen, monsters and machines, wherever you are, if you've got a product you want our feedback on, you got a question you want us to answer, let us know. It's your show just as much as it is ours. And there's plenty more purple light coming soon. Alex, in the TikTok background, I see your cool computer tower. Look at that thing.
Yeah.
You really kind of see it in the web feed. And for people in podcast land who are wondering, what's all this talk about lights? Shout out to our friend, the White Whale. One of the parts of his partnership package is he said, you guys got to make it look like you're on the same show. And we were like, you know what? That would be kind of cool. So we're using some of the funds to fund beautiful lights that we can pretend are lightsabers when we're not on the air. And we've got some cool cameras coming too. We want to make this show the best fake radio show anywhere on the internet or this blue planet. So the White Whale is helping us. And if you don't follow the White Whale yet, check him out on TikTok and the website formerly known as Twitter at the White Whale HL. Did you see he was talking a little over the weekend with a couple of different founders? He gets everybody's attention, makes a big splash, and that was one of the topics was like, okay, but we're not really decentralized. Should we accept that decentralization is a spectrum and people are on a journey to it? Or is that getting in the way of the ideals that we came to crypto for? And what do you guys think about that? Because we talk about that a lot on the show.
I would actually like to have this conversation with him because
with White Whale.
Yeah, because I think this is one of those examples of two things can be true at once. It doesn't matter if you accept whether or not decentralization is a spectrum, because it is. And there are a whole myriad, and I do understand the argument, before I get ahead of myself, of saying if there's any element of centralization to a thing, it can by definition not be decentralized. And I would, to a degree, accept that. But I think that as we talk about, certainly as we have the whole UX talk, and we talk about like all the different protocols and how they should be decentralized or how they're not, or what piece of it makes them not, or what piece of them makes them decentralized or whatever. I mean, just in having that conversation, you're already admitting that it is like not just a blank yes or no. Like there's some degrees of decentralization here. But I don't know. I think that if you can identify the piece that is the centralization, the piece that is the risk, then you can identify like what needs to be worked on. I always think about like the way that Polkadot originally wrote their homepage many years ago when they started, right? Which was talking about like their particular flavor of proof of stake, which had like an authority piece to it where they are choosing, it's permissioned in the beginning. And then it started to open up, and they never got all the way there. In fact, I mean, it looks really like, don't know can someone help me out? What the hell's been going on over there? They're just phoning it in for the last how many years? Because I haven't seen anything.
Yeah, well, I didn't see anything when they were apparently spending millions of dollars on marketing either. So
by millions, do you mean 60 plus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I honestly don't know. I see them doing stuff, and I see them doing some valuable stuff. I mean, they fund a lot of events. They fund a lot of builders.
Yes.
They get a lot of grants.
Yes.
I don't.
Exactly.
They seem focused on developers. So I'm really not their target audience, to be honest.
Yeah, well, Cardano's been doing the same thing too.
I mean, yeah. So is ICP, I think probably at one time, you can confirm this for me. It was easier to get a grant from ICP than it was to take candy from a baby, apparently.
Yeah, I turned one down.
I'm not talking about you, Alex. I'm saying a lot of these companies who
I'm just
money glitch. You know,
you're
some of it's better than others, but they're spending it on stuff. Some of it's okay, good stuff.
It just doesn't like amount to anything. There's no results.
You're right. You're right.
What's interesting is you can exclude Ethereum from the conversation because they were the first mover, right? So they had the first mover advantage. Everyone was just building there, and everyone was talking about it, and it was only Ethereum for a while. So like when you really started thinking about competition and like actually having to do marketing, it was like Solana onwards, essentially, and whatever other Ethereum competitors you want to pick. But you have Solana that's crushed marketing, even though there is air quotes, better tech out there. It's faster and cheaper and, instantaneous and all that kind of stuff, right? There's a bunch of stuff that's really good from a tech standpoint. But like Solana crushed marketing. It's the reason why, and also like usability. They were the first ones, I think largely because like Phantom Wallet was just really nice. People were like, oh, this is great. People went there, I think in large part because of that. But then you've had like Polkadot spend a bunch of money with zero results. You've had Cardano spend no money with zero results. You've had XRP spend no money with all of the results.
Yeah.
And then interestingly enough though, and again, I've been talking about Avalanche more recently, but it's like Avalanche has spent some money, like a good bit of marketing, but they still don't get talked about as much as I feel like they should on Twitter and TikTok and Instagram and YouTube. But they are also getting adoption from traditional like Web 2 based companies, like more so than most other blockchains outside of Solana and Ethereum. So it's like there's some mix that Avalanche has done between builders, marketing, and I don't know, their tech and architecture and stuff that is working for them because they're getting the adoption that Cardano isn't. They're getting the adoption that, XRP and Ripple aren't. They're getting the adoption that, Hedera and Stellar and, pick one, right? And they've found an interesting mix because you don't hear about them too much, but you do hear about them enough. And then we see these great headlines, but people don't run with them because there isn't like a culty kind of feel behind Avalanche. Avalanche is sitting in, like, in my personal opinion, in like the perfect middle ground of like, you're almost doing marketing perfectly. You're almost doing the crypto cult perfectly. You're almost doing all these things, but like they're doing enough in all of them that they are pulling ahead of a lot of the other horses in the race. It's been interesting. It's been like a very successful slow grind for Avalanche. And I feel like it needs to be studied more.
I will say that I believe the reason you don't see as much from them as maybe some others is the composition of your timeline and your feed. Because my Twitter feed is 25% Avalanche.
Really?
Yeah, they have a ton. I was going to say for me, the thing that has like helped them actually succeed more is flexibility and the fact that most of their marketing is done by creators who get almost no direction. They just pay creators, they retain ambassadors, and they send them off into the wild to do exactly whatever they're going to do. And if for whatever reason it doesn't work out, they move on. What's his face? Banana guy on the boat, right? Fire him on the spot.
Banana guy on the boat.
Crypto.
Yeah, the dude who,
you remember this?
This story tickles with familiarity, but can you tell it again?
It tickles, and it.
Yeah, maybe not the best use of the word tickle. So long story short, you recall the piece of modern art that Justin Sun purchased, which was just a banana duct taped to the wall
for like $1 million or something.
Oh, for a lot more than $1 million.
It was expensive banana.
Yeah, for multiple millions. So Nick on an Avalanche like marketing event, social event, whatever, taking place on a boat. He recreated that piece of artwork with a particular piece of his anatomy and yellow paint and duct tape.
Ah,
And they literally brought a jet ski out and put him on it and sent him away. And then severed all ties with him. And it turned into this whole big stunt, crypto Twitter.
And
You're not missing anything on crypto Twitter.
Yeah, and you know what though? It really didn't hurt that guy's reputation at all.
No, it helped it.
He was in a rough spot for a second, and then it was fine. It was like nothing ever happened. So short attention spans.
Yeah, sure.
ACC says in the comments that AVAX is like a cult based on facts, which I thought was really funny.
Yeah,
and
they do have a very strong social presence. It's just, oh my god.
look at that. Oh, you're gonna have to turn that down because everyone in podcast land is rage quitting.
sorry.
Absolutely rage
was
quitting
awful.
the show. You could probably hold it to the side of your desk and do it there. Give me a test.
I'll put it down here.
Oh yeah, that's perfect. Honestly,
Okay.
actually.
Lovely. It'll sit right on my computer. And when I really want to piss
Not a
off
real
people in the
bell.
podcast, I'm going ding, 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 ding. Yeah, baby.
I'll put a warning in the show notes. That's so funny. Web3
Will
Culture
is armed.
also
with a
says shout out to DeFi Mike helping them out these days. I'm not hip to DeFi Mike, but they have a ton of great creators, to your point, Alex, who are just, invited in to see the work they're doing, doing the work for them.
And hey, that's kind of what Octan's doing right now too. With us and other people, they're like, "Hey, we like you guys. Hey, what do you guys want to talk about? Whatever you. I mean, like Ethereum, you're doing great.
Yeah.
Compete for money. Here you go. Take your money. Good
That's
job.
the way.
You're doing great.
Like it, and data outside of the industry, I'm not going to get on a soapbox here, although I would love to, supports that idea, right? Like that the way that marketing and advertising and messaging and growth is going, your best bet is to find people who have done a good job, built a reputation, have a platform, have a brand, have a niche, do a thing, whatever, have people that enjoy what they do and support what they do, and then just like let them create and profit from the results.
There was some kind of
there you go.
that said something like Ethereum doesn't have one CMO, but Octant Foundation's new creator cohort just made it so that now ETH has 30 CMOs or something like that. And I thought it was, a point well taken. That's just a line in sentence. That's it. Now, we do have a couple of other questions coming in. We had a question asking us about PENGU and how we think Pudgy Penguins will do. And then our friend Craig, shout out Craig, said in the comments, have you guys seen Pandu? They're running the Pudgy Penguins playbook, and I'd love to get your thoughts on it. Could it be the next Pudgy Penguins? So, Will, as our resident PENGU lover, though we all do love it, I would love to defer to you first. And by way of that, say, because of Will and his tenacity, we are actually going to talk to Luke Netz. He is the CEO of Igloo, and he is the owner of Pudgy Penguins, the brand. On the show, October 29th, Rise Up After Dark. That's Wednesday, 7 p.m. Central Time, October 29th. So if you've got questions about Pudgy Penguins, that is really going to be, could you get a better place than that? I don't think so. So what do you think about the brand, about PENGU? Is it in that lump of stuff you're feeling bullish about?
I need to interrupt this news, this topic with, I'm trying to verify this. So Grayscale, someone mentioned in the comments, so thank you. But Grayscale has launched the first staking spot crypto ETPs in the United States for Ethereum and Solana.
Dang, okay, breaking.
Hang on a second. This is according, so I see a CoinDesk article, which always take with a grain of salt, but I'm also seeing a Global Newswire. This was an hour or two ago.
It's me, your dad says they Twitter posted about it too. So
today announced a major industry first. Grayscale Ethereum Trust ETF and Grayscale Ethereum Mini Trust ETF have become the first US listed spot crypto ETPs to enable staking. Grayscale also revealed that Grayscale Solana Trust has activated staking, giving investors one of the only ways to access SOL Solana staking through a traditional brokerage account. Pending regulatory approval of GSOL's uplisting as an exchange-traded product, it is expected to become one of the first Solana ETPs with staking. Point for Grayscale. That's my first one. It goes to Grayscale. I like that. That's nice. I think that's fitting. So let's see. I wonder if it states. I wonder what % of staking you're actually going to get, because maybe they take a cut, maybe there isn't, maybe they literally just make fees off of the ETP and you get all the Solana and Ethereum staking interest. Let's see here. Ethereum's up 1.39% today. That's a crime. It should be up higher. That's a crime. And
Looks
so
like 6-ish%.
Yeah, and then Solana today is up 2% right now. Interesting.
For all the people wondering in our audience, an ETP is an exchange traded product. That's the umbrella term for a variety of other ETs, phone home, like ETFs, exchange traded funds, which hold a particular basket of assets. In this case, we're talking about exchange tradable, so like friendly to the stock market and easy to get on Robinhood or at Fidelity products that have crypto in them. So it's a big deal. Good question.
I thought that even though the SEC put out their guideline that says, hey, you can meet these, you can list the products immediately, since the government is shut down, I still thought that you couldn't have an ETP or an ETF get approved here.
Well, here's the thing, is only certain parts of the government are shut down. The government there are several places where there's like, the SEC releases guidance on how they'll operate during the federal shutdown. And I was looking into this because when we got the email from Hester, I was like, is she allowed to email me right now? And one of the things that they say, there's a whole, if you just Google SEC shutdown rules, they give guidance. That's what it says, SEC guidance. And it's unclear to me, but there are some approval actions, consideration and settlement actions that they do push through, but it's legalese, and honestly, I don't feel qualified to interpret it. But there's stuff there. So if we got a lawyer friend in the audience who can look at the guidance from the SEC on what they do during a shutdown and answer this question about how this ETF was able to get approved, let us know.
So anyway, that's cool news. Very exciting. And so what was the question again? I know it was Pudgy Penguin-esque related, but for a different project?
Yes, returning from the breaking news, the first question was PENGU. Are we feeling bullish? Do we think PENGU and the Pudgy Penguins brand will continue to succeed? Prospects for the token, that kind of thing. And then the alpha from Craig was Pandu, Pandu. And I looked it up just quickly. It looks like it's a meme coin on the Solana blockchain, but what I think Craig meant by it is they are leaning into intellectual property and they are trying to create beloved intellectual property, content essentially around pandas, these cute little animated pandas. I'm looking on X to see if I can find any more information about how they've tried to do that. For reference, one of the reasons Pudgy Penguins got so big is because as a brand, after Luca bought them, they were just one of many NFT JPEG collections. All you were buying was like a little cartoon penguin. But after Luca took over, he really leaned into this idea that intellectual property is what makes something like a JPEG penguin or panda valuable. And the more people love a character, the more valuable merchandise or content related to it, the brand, in other words, will become. If you want an example for this, think about Mickey and Disney. When Walt Disney started, Mickey was just one animated character, but as Disney grew, it was because this character, all these characters that we know and love, became more prominent in stories that mattered to us. That's what made the intellectual property valuable. And that's why you can buy mouse ears or little stuffed Mickey dolls online. They're worth something because the story is valuable. So I don't know. I'm just seeing meme token on Twitter. I'm not seeing much about content, but that's what Pudgy Penguins did. They took over GIFs, they took over Instagram, they took over socials with cute animated content. And if Pandu is doing that, then maybe they could become the next Pengu.
No.
No. Evan,
come on, Jesus.
It was a great explanation, but I was waiting for.
Just come on.
How many times have we seen this?
Bring me back to earth, baby.
Alex, you start.
I'm with you.
Someone does something, they do it really well, and then 28,000 things just creep out of nowhere and copy what they did and say, we're the next one. You missed this one? Boy, howdy, here's another
Here we
thing.
are.
We're doing the exact same shit, and
we also have the same name, minus one letter. There's also an X in front.
Yeah,
We're related to XRP.
And they're on Solana, not on ETH.
Oh.
Hard pass, dude. Hard
Yeah,
pass.
fuck no. Hell no.
How many derivative piles of shit did you see like come out of everything like during the whole like NFT run of 2021? This was it. How many fake apes? How many punks? Everything that makes a chain that creates the ability for NFTs to exist there. All of a sudden there was a punk and an ape. And guess where all of them are? Nowhere.
Yep, but here's the thing, right? What makes Pudgy Penguin special? It's the IP. The IP is the fastest growing intellectual property in the world, not just in Web3, in the world. And if you go on the Panda's website, which I did, they have a link to their TikTok and their socials and stuff. And they don't, if they had some level of impressions similar to what Pudgy Penguins has, which is 1.1 billion impressions a day across the world a day, then they would have a very valuable IP, and there'd be investors, and there'd be toys, and there'd be merchandise, and there'd be movies, and there'd be video games, like everything with Pudgy Penguins. And this doesn't have that. They have like 700 followers on TikTok. It's not a valuable IP. That's what makes Pudgy Penguins valuable. So is this going to be a PENGU or a Pudgy Penguins? Like, no.
Not this way.
Not this way.
Like,
yeah,
don't get me twisted here. I am very bullish on creating a brand. I am very bearish on copying someone else's successful brand and changing one thing about it. Like that come on.
I'll tell you what else.
You can't look me in the eye and tell me that you're genuinely excited about this.
I'll tell you what else I don't really care for is like the staking thing. We've seen that so much. Staking is only valuable if you have like a valuable token that a network needs. Otherwise, it's just a way to get you to lock up your stuff for the promise of something that doesn't cost them anything to make. And I don't really care much for the route they've chosen for this intellectual property. I think this character could have cute appeal the way a penguin might, but I don't like that they're leaning into crypto. Like the content, if you're in podcast land, is oriented around like degen, crypto trading, and like a lot of crypto Twitter memes. And I just think the total addressable market for that is so small. And it's going to make the comments full of like crypto moon boys. I think if I was the CMO of this brand, I would start over. I would make the character less human and more cute, like chubby. And I would make it less about like actual day-to-day weird crypto stuff and make it more like, panda can't reach sync, too chubby, too small. Other panda gets its step stool. The pandas hug, the end. Like stuff like that. I would really try to copy Pudgy Penguins in that regard because it's, I think, just more appealing to more people who don't necessarily need to love crypto to love what you do. They're making the product the token or the non-fungible token, not the IP. And so that's why I'm not excited about it.
It's just be creative. This isn't it. And you can't, one of the reasons that 99% of all of those NFTs and every meme coin, whatever, they all fail is because someone manufactures nonsense and then tells everybody that it's valuable. The reason Pudgy Penguins succeeded is because somebody manufactured nonsense, told everybody that it was valuable. It went to near zero. They pulled the plug and disappeared. And then Luca bought it and was like, I'll fix this shit for you. And then guess what he didn't do? He didn't tell me that it was valuable again now. They just started doing things. And then they built a brand and they did a bunch of stuff that no one had done before. And there you go. All of a sudden you have IP and you have a brand that has been built up. It has a story, it has a history, has all this kind of stuff. You can absolutely do that again. Totally. Absolutely. The way you're not going to do it again is by changing one letter, swapping out the penguin for a different animal, and then trying to do a shittier version of the same thing that they did. Like, just do something unique
with a different animal. I think you could rinse and repeat the Pudgy playbook. I just don't think this is the proper execution of the playbook. I think
of course you can.
We misunderstands it.
We saw it happen a million times. Of course you can rinse and repeat it by fleecing a bunch of people who think they're going to get lucky on this one. And
no, in an actual business.
I'm saying instead of fleecing people with an NFT, I'm saying take over Instagram with a great animated show, take over GIFs with lovable, relatable memes, and then You can happen to attach a crypto. I'm saying the crypto must become less, so the brand becomes more.
Yeah. But you said the thing. The crypto. If your brand is crypto, then great. Your brand is crypto. That's fine. There's a huge audience. You could definitely find success that way. I don't think that's the thing. The thing is that there's nothing like new and exciting. What's a degenerate cartoon panda? Wow, color me impressed. If you did the thing with the show that you just talked about, that Pudgy's not doing that. They went the GIF and mobile game route.
They actually have a show now.
Make like.
Do they have a show?
Yeah, it's on YouTube. They have 1 million subscribers. They have a YouTube show, and they're also making a long form movie.
I just want everyone who has been a holder of an
Yeah.
Elrond duck to know that this could have been you.
Could have been you.
Could have been you. Yeah, you're gonna have all the like classic. I mean, like you see Doodles doing a lot more. Doodles is doing great stuff too for a very long time, and you'll see a lot more of those like NFT projects that have been working, or at least have they been doing some good stuff. They're gonna see what Pudgy Penguins do, and they're gonna start doing that, turn themselves into real business. And a lot of the other ones that were struggling, I think you'll see a couple start to try to do that and make some positive inroads. I think Pudgy Penguins is just taking like the entire industry and just grabbing it, and, like dragging it along and be like, no, I know better. this way, please.
Yeah.
Let's make real businesses out of this IP.
Blondie Brule, who asked this question, said, my kids downloaded the PENGU, the Pudgy Party. I always say the wrong name, and have been playing it nonstop. Like, make something people love. It's so fun. I like it. It's the only mobile game I willingly open and play.
I think it was the #7 most profitable game on the Apple App Store, whatever it is you guys have on your Apple phones, but it's like their numbers are crushing it. I'm so fascinated to see if Luca will tell us how much money they're making off of that app right now, because it's millions.
You can look it up.
It's millions of dollars. You can look it up?
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the website off the top of my head, but I'll find it. There's a website that tracks revenue from mobile apps because it's known.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that.
It's got some. My final point on this, because then I'm over it.
Please, I've got other.
So the follow-up comment here was that how can you tell us it's not valuable if the price of the NFT went from this to this?
Good question.
Speculation.
So yeah, exactly. There is a difference between speculative price increases and the accumulation of value leading to an increase of demand and whatever. High throughput and momentary temporary attention can increase the price on anything. Look, if you tell me that and use that to prop up, your example of, whatever, this is, I know this is valuable because the floor price went up. First of all, floor price can be manufactured. This was one of my very first hot take videos from how many years ago. If we created an NFT community right here and just all decided that the floor price of those NFTs was going to be $30 million, guess what? It would be $30 million.
Yep.
And it would say that on the marketplaces because the minimum that one was listed for was 30 million and nobody accepted an offer for less than that. All of a sudden, boom, down, there you go. But that doesn't necessarily mean anything. And I'm sure that these things will trade. I'm sure they could go up again. They could go up further from here. If it went from half a soul to 3.5 soul, it could go to 7 soul. It could go to 25 soul before everyone realizes that there's actually nothing here but smoke and mirrors. And then what you're going to be end up at the end with is a bunch of people who are really upset holding these things for no reason because people run out of steam and they realize there was no plan and whatever, the revenue got furthered away, yada yada yada. Accumulation of value over time, because more and more people want these things and more stuff keeps happening, things independent of just the price increase, things that would be done regardless of whether or not the price went up. That's different. And it's hard to point out those, it's hard to pick that apart when you're staring down the barrel of a floor price that's rocketing. But it's this exact same thing as a meme that we all know is nonsense, rocketing in price before it inevitably dumps and then never comes back. So I would just use that as a word of caution. Please don't be fooled necessarily by a price that increases quickly, because that's exactly how it's designed to work. And we've seen that a million times. We've seen that more than a million times.
Not more than 1 million, Alex.
Of
but a
course
lot.
we have. No,
I think.
No. I'm not being hyperbolic. How many meme coins have been launched?
But how many of them actually got attended to?
How many
How
of them
many have we
no,
seen?
nope. Okay, I'm going to fight you on this one. How many times did the price just erroneously explode because it did the first little thing that it needed to? It bonded off of pump.fun and hit radium, and then the price exploded, and then it dumped into the ground. I promise you it's more than 1 million.
How many
We've seen
tokens?
30 million of these things happen.
How many total cryptocurrencies are there now?
Oh, there's
30 million,
millions and millions.
34 million.
Okay, here
I
we
would
go.
say probably 1 million or 2 are copycats,
Oh my God, this is incredible to me that we're arguing about this right now.
if not 10 million.
I just think 1 million. I think the fact that you would say we have seen millions of these. That's what I think.
Collectively, we as an industry have
not.
seen millions of pump and dumps. Of course we have.
I don't know. I don't know that I would consider every pump.fun token a pump and dump, but
But it's the entire. It's in the name.
I get it. I'm just saying.
It's in the
I
name.
think pump and dump implies a lot of malicious intention. I think it implies some calculated strategy or some nuanced morality.
But that's like 99.9% of this
Okay,
entire industry.
Yeah. I'll concede to you.
Why is your hand yellow?
I'm just being silly. Why's my what?
Why is your hand yellow?
Oh, I went to the fair yesterday with Kimberly. Isn't that great?
Oh, that's nice.
I got so much fried food. I rode some ride. I absolutely love the fair. I just love the fair. Anyway, you're right. You're right. I'm being semantic. We don't need to, argue about that.
It's okay.
I don't need to die on that hill. Your final thought is well taken. And we have a couple of other questions, and I know you want to do an artificial insanity segment. So is it fine with you if I
absolutely
throw these two
Whatever
questions
you're gonna do. Yes.
Yeah. And let's talk more. The other place to talk more about this, if you still don't understand like the value accrual mechanics, you want to understand why Alex and Will and I have such a strong opinion about this, or you want to learn more about our history, because we've seen a lot of this. It's hard to convey in about a 5-minute conversation. The place to go is community.rumshq.com. Wherever you are, whenever you listen, it's the link in our bio that'll take you to our website, and the community there is a great place to ask questions like this or have deeper conversations. It's totally free to join. And we've even got premium features that'll get you deeper access to the, most beautiful people. Maybe that's where the feet pics are. I don't know. It could be the move. So the next question we had is from Carly, who is a Revolut user who's finding the platform restrictive. So hello, Carly. And thanks for the great question. She asks, I'm trying to move my XRP off Revolut, but it's not really letting me. How do I do this? And I just want to tell you, Carly, first of all, it's not you. You're not alone. Leave a comment to show some solidarity for Carly. If you've ever experienced buying a crypto token through an app like Robinhood or, wealth transfer or whatever, and then you couldn't move it, you couldn't sell it, you wanted to swap it for something else, but you couldn't. You found something restrictive. And the answer is probably going to surprise you, Carly. A lot of people have problems like this. So it's not necessarily a cause for concern, but it is a reason that you should continue your crypto education about what platforms and solutions exist. I'm going to go to these guys for where to go next, what you might do if you want to get off Revolut. But I want to give you the specific step-by-step that's going to help you really quick. You may need, Revolut has limits on how much and which kinds of cryptocurrencies you're allowed to send off their platform. So what you may need to do is sell your XRP tokens so that it's converted to a cash balance, withdraw the cash, and then through your bank, transfer it to another account on maybe a more crypto-friendly exchange. So guys, do you have any recommendations for crypto-friendly exchanges or other paths that somebody like Carly can take if they want to be an XRP or crypto user to have more freedom and control over those assets and the information?
I mean, at this point, I think the numbers are growing, right? Like how many places you can do stuff. Honestly, Revolut, and there's a couple that I have quite literally zero experience with. Revolut's one of them. Never touched Uphold. Revolut, what's Revolut's
Uphold is also limited. What's Revolut's?
Yeah.
What?
What are they? What's their what are we doing with them? Why does anyone care about them?
Well, because a lot of people use them for whatever reason. They're a front door of the internet place.
But I mean, it's just like a standard exchange. I'm literally completely unfamiliar with Revolut?
Yeah, they're like Uphold. They're like Robinhood. They
Okay.
just happen to. Carly, I'd be interested to know. She says she's in the UK.
Mm.
I'd be curious to know where you found. Like, did you find them on Facebook first? Did you find them on TikTok first? Because we see different ads in different places for different companies, and it's no. There are a lot of really good comments coming in. Actually, really quickly, Will, before I get you, I want to highlight Raging Cajun, who says Caleb and Brown could be good for an exit strategy. They're an exchange that can help manage your crypto for you. We've talked with them. They're friendly and helpful. They require some sort of like minimum thresholds for how many assets you buy at a time and how much you hold on their account, but they're friendly and registered, compliant. Caleb and Brown. And then Addy Snaps suggests wallets, self-custody wallets, Shaman, Nexo, and Luno. Will, do you have other suggestions for Carly?
No, I don't, just because I am not familiar with Revolut. I'm also not familiar with what all the options are in that region, so I don't really have a lot to add. The people in the comment section are being far more helpful. So
Yeah,
Carly does say it's the next to become a bank in the UK. Sorry, Alex, go ahead.
No, you've got your big centralized exchange options, which I would have to do some digging to see exactly what all is available in which countries. But I mean, Kraken, Coinbase, Gemini, all got XRP back. And then I know cold wallets. I mean, you've got your big ones, Trezor, Arculus, Ledger, all of them can handle XRP. So I mean, I would say, the advice is the same as with anything. If you plan on keeping it for longer than a week, and you would be sad if it went away, then I would put it in cold storage, to be very honest.
Beautiful. I would say the other path you could take that might be a little more intensive is you could, on Revolut specifically, you could swap inside Revolut from XRP to a withdrawable coin, Bitcoin, ETH, USDT on a supported network. But that's the thing, is if you don't understand crypto tokens and which networks they live on and like how to use self-custody and how to withdraw them, I really do think it's going to be easier to just sell the XRP, move the cash to your bank, and then start an account on a crypto-friendly exchange like that. However, if you may incur a tax burden if you bought that XRP at 50 cents or whatever, and now it's $3. Be aware that when you sell it for cash, you'll incur a tax burden. That's not a cause for concern, just something to know. And I see Carly says she has a Trezor, but they won't let her transfer. Revolut will not let you transfer XRP. So the simplest thing to do is you got to sell it.
Yep.
Then take the money and move it somewhere else. I recommend Shaman, XAMAN, if you want to self-custody just XRP, but any of those other wallets, cold storage Trezor's great. Alex, you're a Trezor user.
Yeah. It was the first one I ever got, a Model T. Now I have two. I have a Trezor Model T and I have one of the Arculus cards.
Carly says, I have 30K. If you mean 30K tokens, it doesn't matter how many tokens you have. Cold storage is infinite. It's not physical like a storage unit. If you're worried about taking that much cash off into your bank because of tax reasons or something else, then I'm sorry. It may be easier for you to swap those tokens to Bitcoin and then send them from Revolut. But Revolut is still going to report on all of your activity. And if anything you do is taxable, they'll report it to your local authorities. This sounds like a good question for like a coaching session or more back and forth in the Rise Up community. So Carly, I want to say thank you for trusting us to help you. The next steps for you will be to check out the community, community.rumshq.com. Come on in. And then, let's get to know each other a little better so that we can help you figure out a solution and stay in touch so that you don't feel like you're out here swimming alone in the river of crypto that somebody pushed you in. Thank you for the question, Carly. Guys, I've got another one here. Is lending on Morpho safe? Who wants to take it?
It is as safe as you can get for using a decentralized application. So what I say by that is decentralization adds security. This is true. But with new, and I'm doing air quotes around new because Morpho isn't new. It's been around for like 3 years actually as a service. But any decentralized application, that software front, like there could be gaps, like there could be holes in the code. There could be something wrong. Something can go wrong, right? All code has potential pitfalls to it that maybe someone hasn't caught yet, right? So there is a risk to using Morpho, but as compared to everything else in the space, Morpho is at like the top level of security and trust that you can really possibly have in this industry. So I trust it, but it does not mean that you are without risk. You are also not without risk using your bank. So you know, like that's the context of me saying that there is always risk. You are also responsible for making sure you are sending things correctly to places. So you could also make a mistake. There's a risk there that you will make a mistake. But Morpho is as safe as it possibly can be if you are looking to lend out crypto or USDC or something like that and earn interest.
Alex, thought you want to add?
Not really. I mean, it's Will said it. There's risks with every single thing. The trick is to identify what those risks are and then come up with whatever plan you can to mitigate them. And if you don't feel confident that you can mitigate the risk enough to make it something that you feel comfortable doing, then don't do it.
That's exactly right. And those specific risks we're talking about, like Will mentioned, the code, DeFi and crypto operates on software. It's computer code. And so you are trusting that the computer code is good. And there are lots of audits on Morpho's platform. You could look up through a website like DeFi Llama if you wished to. They've done a lot of bounties, meaning they put out money for anybody to try and break their platform and then report about how they did it so they can fix the bug, we say. Then
Someone
there
asked,
are also, oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No.
Someone just asked, like, well, do you use it? Yes, I do use Morpho, but my risk mitigation that I employ while using platforms like that, I have a pile of stablecoins that is kind of like my savings account stablecoins, and all I do with them is earn yield. And it's true that some places have better yield than others, and some are maybe more safe than others, or I feel like less concerned that they could go under. Like, I'm less concerned that Aave will go under than I am that, I don't know, some little lending protocol that has 1/100th of the TVL, for example, just to make something up. But so what I do is I just pick like 5 or 6 and I cut it up. If I had $5,000, I'd put 1,000 on each of those. So I have some on Morpho, I have some on DeFiCarrot, I have some in Aave, I have some in Spark, and I think those are all 4 right now. And that's just, to spread it around a little bit in case one of those has a problem.
Yeah, for me, I have things on Morpho, and then I have USDC on Morpho, and then I have USDC just sitting right on Coinbase too, because like I make trades fairly frequently, so like it's earning 4% and it's just there ready to be used when it needs to be. I'll probably buy some today and tomorrow and the next day and the day after that. And I also have a daily DCA that goes into it too. But you know, so like, but I feel good having my money on Coinbase too, because yeah, I'm only earning 4%, but also that's great as compared to traditional means. But you know, I have some USDC in an FDIC insured centralized exchange, so that if something goes wrong there, I'm covered by insurance. And then I have something in the Web 2 space, and there are risks there, but those risks are different from the Web 3 space, and I have some money there, and you know, I just kind of spread it around, because if you have all your eggs in one basket, you know, there's this risk, you know.
Yeah, and I do know people who are super into crypto who will not use any DeFi because they just feel it's too risky. You know, you're trusting a lot of people still. Like on one hand, when you put your money in the bank or take out a loan from the bank, you're trusting a lot of people, but you're trusting institutions that got to jump through a lot of hoops and have a lot of money invested in a pretty well-tested infrastructure that comparatively, you know, is
yeah.
You know.
And here's something else I want to add, because I saw like, oh, hey, like insurance is a big factor. Absolutely is. Wall Street, something that a lot of people overlook. And then JFM, big fees on Coinbase. Coinbase does have big fees. If you want to avoid the fees on Coinbase, I say big. They're air quotes big as compared to competitors. You go to Kraken. If you're in the United States, go to Kraken. Cheaper fees. There you go. Bob's your uncle. However, Kraken is not FDIC insured. Only Coinbase is. And so that gives you $250,000 worth of insurance. So if something were to happen to the centralized exchange, you're covered up to 200 or 250,000. I don't remember exactly what it is, but it's a good chunk of change.
Yeah, but you can also get DeFi insurance. Nexus Insure Ace are companies that if you're concerned about DeFi and the risks, somebody malicious wrote the computer code, somebody takes advantage of the computer code, there's a bug, or when they update it, they screw it up.
But then I'm also trusting the software and the coding of that new decentralized application, aren't I?
But that's I don't know. That's just diversifying legal protection.
Sure. Yeah.
Plus, we just have to remember that FDIC insurance sounds really good, but it's really not that great.
Right.
Like, it protects against a couple things, but like if you get your identity stolen and your account gets drained, FDIC doesn't give a shit.
For sure.
If theft, if someone just robs you, doesn't count.
Yeah, something has to go wrong with the exchange.
Get scammed? No. Fraud, hack? No. Like, yeah, exactly. It, like, the exchange itself would have to go under, and even then there's some weird things with like the involvement of crypto, because FDIC does not cover crypto. There's like a difference in the policy and something or other. I'd have to look. I don't remember all of the nuance there, but it's one of those things that kind of makes me feel like, okay, we're just like buzzwording. It's like it protects against like one specific thing, but all of the other things that could happen to your money, it doesn't protect you against. It's like health insurance.
Classic.
Well,
it's unless you're not American, in which case, you don't understand the reference.
Yeah, sorry, that was an American inside joke.
That was an American inside joke. Oh, you guys should just move to Massachusetts. We have the closest thing to universal healthcare.
Dude, I just got this because I just bought new glasses. Shout out Warby Parker, and not sponsored, should be, and they were like, "Oh, don't forget to check your vision insurance." So I like enter it, and it's like, "Oh, sorry, never mind." Okay, cool.
Gwump.
So I'm paying for vision insurance, and so far the two things I've needed to do with it, eye exam, glasses. It's like,
you have to pay for eye exams? Damn.
Yeah.
Yes,
brutal. Sure, dude. It's the health insurance that we have is like $1,600 a month for both of us. And the last time Christina had to go do something, it was over $1,000 out of pocket because it was 2 procedures. And so they would not cover like beyond a certain amount, like per procedure. And since they were 2 different things, even though they were ordered by the same doctor and the same whatever. So there's that. And then, yeah, I've just needed like 2 vision things, and I like have it and you're paying for it. Like, it doesn't do anything. So I'm trying to figure out like what I could need to do that would be like routine for, honestly, at this point, I'm like, what would be the worst risk? Just like keep paying this forever, or just go uninsured and pay for it out of pocket? Because like, good Lord, it's insane. I have yet to run into a specific instance where I was like, man, I'm really glad I have this insurance.
Yeah, I have, but I think one of my favorite ones is I went to a dermatologist because I was just like, hey, I just want like a professional's opinion. I'm like, I want to make sure like I'm taking care of my skin and all that kind of stuff. And I walked in, they're like, yeah, sure. But in order to have insurance pay for this, otherwise this is going to be a $600 visit. Can I look at one mole? And I was like, I got a freckle over here. And they're like, cool, mole looks good. Anyway, this is now officially covered by insurance. So get this product, that product, and do this. I was like, oh, cool. Thanks, doc. Then just walked out. Otherwise, it was going to be, if we didn't look at that one freckle, it would have been a $600 quick little product recommendation.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Nanny Crypto in the comments who gave us some more breaking news about Tether's USAT stablecoin, that it is officially launched, meaning live. And they've got a couple of updates about their trajectory in the next decade. I'm searching for it on X. I don't see it, but I do see that recently they also announced that they are going live on Rumble, integrating with that social media app. And I would be interested to see where they take it next. For folks that don't know, USDT is Tether's new US dollar stablecoin. Why do they need a second stablecoin, you might ask? They've already got the world's most dominant stablecoin, USDT.
More money.
One, yeah, more money, but more money specifically from the US. USDT
money
is not compliant in the US. And rather than change their market leading product, the best stablecoin in the world, they were like, you know what? We could use some of our oodles and oodles of cash to just do a whole nother one specifically for the US. And that's what they did. So check that out if you want updates on it. I also forgot to give an update this morning when we were talking about the white whale and decentralization. Also, shout out again, the white whale. We would love to have you on the show. Folks in the comments are begging for it. So just something to think about is about Hyperliquid, their beloved platform, which relies on a basically dual validator set. that they totally control. So if there was like a tsunami, a hurricane, something like that, Hyperliquid, the network, would go down. Are they planning to decentralize it over time? Yeah, they say they are. And I believe them, but, quite centralized in the meantime. Now, Alex, you were not here earlier when we got to do it. I know you have a segment you want to get to. Will, I heard you opening your mouth, and so I'm coming to you next.
I heard you opening your mouth.
Be quick. You got to be quick to beat me, and you cannot beat me this time because, Alex, you didn't get to celebrate with us. But in fact, it's true. This weekend, we had a new Bitcoin all-time high.
Bitcoin all-time high. Not Bitcoin. Bitcoin. I love that Bitcoin.
Also,
this is one of those scams. This is the hard fork.
Yeah, Bitcoin. Did you see the South Park had a crypto episode?
They've had a few.
They've had a few.
But they had another one about Polymarket and
Yes. Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet, but
I didn't see it though.
more people were beefing about it on Twitter than I think actually watched the episode. So I don't know about that. Anyway, Will, go ahead, and then we'll do a little artificial insanity.
The best one was when Butter started selling NFTs to people, though.
That was truly wonderful. I was gonna say something. I don't remember what it was, but what I will do is this, because I missed this when I was looking at Ethereum on my altcoin update video. So if you guys have already watched this, I'll just correct that here live. But I missed that. We're above like a key line of resistance. I didn't even look at this. I was looking at it while we were chatting. And I was like, wow, the staking got turned on for the Grayscale ETP product, and I was like, wait a second, I'm missing something here. Oh wait, hang on a second. This is a descending wedge, and we broke out of this like a couple days ago, like 2 days ago or so. This is the 8-hour chart, and we're actually, if we hold this, we have like a bullish breakout to potentially $5,200, $5,300, which $5,200 was the level that Yaboyski and I were saying was like, yeah, this is like where we're starting to run into like some real resistance here for ETH. The Moxie indicator is bullish. I didn't realize that we were beginning to have a little bit of a bullish breakout here for ETH that started a couple days ago. I just didn't have it on my chart, so I just wanted to update folks in case you've been seeing my altcoin market update videos.
That's wonderful. Thank you. And I also know, Alex, that you texted me over the weekend and you were saying, hey, we got to do
this
a little
is
artificial
insanity.
Things are getting crazy in the world of AI, huh?
Yeah. It's getting worse. Was it is Sora
Tight.
2? 3? 2? I don't know. The newest Sora is...
Sora, for folks who don't know, is...
It's a AI video generation tool. It's incredible. Terrifying. I've seen several videos on my For You page on TikTok just this morning, and like they're labeled as Sora, and I'm looking at it like, I don't know, might have gotten me, at least for a little bit. But there was this, so the specific instance that happened that prompted me to text Evan was over the weekend. I saw a video on TikTok. It was a conversation with a video playing in the background of a plane flying, whatever. The video was fine. The video was real. The conversation was not. And it was between, maybe you've seen this one, I don't know, because it went pretty viral. It was between a pilot and the tower. And this pilot was trying to land at an airport, claiming that he needed an emergency landing because a kid on the plane had appendicitis, and the tower was saying you can't land for 13 more minutes because the president is landing and you need to go around and you can't touch down right now. There's VIP, whatever. And they argue, and the pilot's like, literally just like the white knight, like, punishments be damned, do whatever you have to do to me. This kid's going to make it, and lands the plane anyway. And the comments are just full of, give that pilot an award. This is amazing. Thank you so much. Like, blah, 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 whatever. And I commented on it, like, just in case anyone's wondering, this conversation is fake. This is AI. And, a bunch of people said I was wrong. I'm not. But there was a ton of questions from people who were like, listen, I didn't know that. How can you tell? And a ton of these comments were just like, there's more and more of these. I'm scared. Like, I don't know how to tell. How can you tell? And this one in particular, there was a few things. So I'm going to highlight just a couple of the ways that you could tell about this one specifically. You can apply this to all sorts of stuff. But I think it's important to like spend some time looking into these things and like trying to learn how to identify certain markers, because we're still at the point now where there are usually giveaways that you can, I mean, you know.
Alex, is there any way you can like link this video for us so that people can watch it in the description? Is it something you have eventually?
No, that's TikTok.
I would
really
love
doesn't-
to screen share for it.
Yeah.
Then maybe let me say this is we'll work on finding this or examples of this for the community so that as Alex gives you these like principles and precepts, we can talk through it, because this is difficult to do. And eventually, like soon in 6 months, this conversation won't even matter because it will be too good to distinguish with your senses. We're going to need verified credentials to prove what is AI generated and what is human generated.
Because this one, there was a number of mistakes, right? Like the pilot called a mayday for this single patient medical emergency, which you would never do. No pilot would ever do that. Mayday means the plane itself has a problem. I need to land because the plane is in danger, thus endangering everybody on board. Pon, for anyone curious, would be the urgent message precursor that you would say on the radio to indicate that there's something that needs to be addressed right now, but the plane itself is fine. Say a lot with a little. So there's words for everything. Then there's just like all kinds of little things. When they said the tail number, it was like, you know, American flight 146. You would never say that. You'd say 146. You never write out the whole, you say each number individually. And then certain numbers are pronounced differently on radios, right? Like, so you don't just go 4, you overpronounce 4, so that there's no confusion. 3, you never say 3 with a TH, you say tree. Stuff like that. All these little things. So like you just don't pick any of that kind of stuff out. And then the cadence was weird. Like there was all sorts of pacing problems. Like you would never talk like that. No one's having full conversations, like where they're basically like, you know, the way that this
like
was going on,
drama.
he was giving a stump speech. It's like you would never do that on the radio. Plus, no pilot would ever know that the president was there. That would never be a confusion. That TFR gets broadcast all over the place on every aviation charting software, whatever. It's everywhere. There is no confusion that the president is landing somewhere because no flight is allowed within a certain amount. There's F-18s capped over top, like, you know, whatever. You would never be able to like accidentally almost land at the airport with a commercial airliner if Air Force One was touching down. It would just never happen. All these things. So just like going back and forth with people about how you can pick these things out and what to look for, what to listen for. And I'm just realizing like, dude, especially because crypto is still confusing and complicated and hard. And there's a lot of steps and there's a lot of jargon. There's a lot of things you have to learn. You know, the more and more that we've been talking about like the, you know, the UX issue and like how many steps there are and all this sort of stuff and whatever. I mean, these AIs getting more and more and more sophisticated. I don't know what the numbers are off the top of my head, but I would imagine that the amount stolen by AI related scams is going to exponentially explode. And honestly, like if I try to boil this all down to one final like point or lesson, honestly, the safest way to do it is just like we say, right? Like most DMs are scams. So the best way to avoid it is by ignoring every DM. Just assume that it's all fake or a scam until you can prove otherwise. Like trust, you know, the trust but verify thing. No, just go to verify. Like at this point, I saw some like Jake Paul fighting videos that were done by AI. It was amazing. It was absolutely incredible. When I think about Will Smith's spaghetti, which was what, like how many years ago was that? Barely any time at all. And to where we are now, dude.
Yeah, the videos are good. Did you see the one going around with the old lady feeding the brown bear?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, that
one's
good
amazing.
Too. It's so good.
Incredible.
I do love it though, because everyone's like, I know this is AI, but also that's not wildlife, officer. That's Benny.
Yes. No, it's truly amazing.
It's really good. Like you can tell it's AI because it's crazy, but also you see a lot of crazy things on the internet that's real. But it's also like the pacing of dialogue.
You
like
can
how
tell
short
it's
the
AI
video
because
is.
the woman is feeding a grizzly bear who's just like sitting politely on her patio waiting to be handed
I've
a
seen
plate.
real videos of people hand feeding bears before, so how crazy
I
could
saw
it be?
William Quigley chase the bear. That's all I need.
It's true.
Yeah, this is true.
Or did he?
Or did he? Was it AI?
Oh my god. He would have the money to just have like an AI real augmented reality bear.
Has William Quigley been a deepfake the whole time?
Yeah.
The whole time.
Joke's on us.
I mean,
Well, is this-
we knew it when he said he was a DJ. We're like,
That's
Aw,
This is how we're going to tell everyone that Will is actually an AI.
I've been AI this whole time.
This whole time.
I've just been making him up in my head. We're really, sad, and it's a fake radio show. That would be the full arc. And like, if it was a weird, like, post-apocalyptic video game, is like, I am not even. Some kid is in his bedroom making us all up on a headset.
But for real,
Support.
like, just it's getting rough.
Getting rough.
Gonna get rougher.
We have a handful of questions to round out the show, and we're going to try and do it rapid fire because it is about that time that we've got to ride our dogs and ponies into the sunset. So, guys, try and give me quick answers on this. Alex, I know you use Perplexity a lot as your preferred AI research assistant, and you mentioned their new feature, Comet, that allows it to sort of monitor your desktop and make suggestions about how to work with you. Or is it something different? Sorry, it's a browser.
Yeah, you're confusing.
Have you
too.
tried?
So, yes.
Give it to me, and have you tried it?
So the desktop monitoring one that I messed with a little bit is called Little Bird. And that one, you basically just give permission to watch your screen. And then it like tracks, work patterns, or like if you're wasting time doing other stuff or whatever, it tracks like, timing, whatever. These are all some degree of sketch required, right? Because you have to give these things permissions to do stuff, which is a little bit nerve wracking. So if you're uncomfortable with it, just don't do it. You're not really like missing out on anything. I'm trying to kind of experiment with these things on one specific computer because this is the computer that I do stuff like this with. There's not like important things on it. If this one gets hosed, whatever, the other one's more important. So little bird records the screen, tells you all kinds of stuff. It can like, pull up and remember stuff. So like if you were like, hey, I wrote an email to someone, what was it again? Like did I email this person? And be like, no, you didn't do that. Whatever. The other one, Comet, is an agentic browser wherein you give it whatever permissions you want it to have, and then you can direct it to do things on your behalf. So like you could let it sign into your email, and then you could tell it to email people stuff or send out an email to this many different people or whatever, pull from your contacts, yada, yada. But all of these things require permissions be granted. You can give it permission to access all sorts of stuff, basically anything that you have an account for. And if you are then comfortable doing that, you can direct it to do things. So for example, I gave it limited access to a few things to run an experiment. And my experiment was like, hey, this is the problem that my truck is having. I think it's this. I tried replacing this. That didn't work. What do you think it is? It gives me a list of things and organizes them. I told it to organize them by like cost and ease of maintenance to attempt. It sorted them out. It gave me one that was like the most logical next step. And I said, okay, cool. Buy that for me, ship it to my house, and then find me a YouTube video that tells me how to install it. And it ordered the part, shipped it to my house, and found a video to show me how to do it.
God damn.
Pretty dope.
Yeah.
I
feel like I'm behind just by using only ChatGPT.
Me too.
You are.
I feel like that too. I need an agent. I'm thinking to myself all the time about like the stuff we got to buy for the show, and I'm like, oh man, I just want to tell this. Don't make me a shopping list, GPT. Just go buy it for me. Send me a text to approve it. Like that's what I want. That's what I want.
Machinery says if you have a PayPal or Venmo account, you can get Perplexity for free for a year. That's true. That's insane.
What? Okay,
That's
send us
crazy.
the link in the community, Machinery, because we're going to need that. And shout out to AppleFed, who says, will not install this on my dedicated crypto trading laptop.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
I wouldn't either. Okay, next rapid fire question is not so much a question. It's like a question and comment from Rada, our longtime listener and friend, who says, guys, check out ZKP2P. And I was ready for this to be Pandu 2.0, but honestly, I got to give it to you, Rada. I think you found something like awesome. And I'm not suggesting that if it has a crypto token, you go out and buy it for the love of God. But listen to this, guys. Here's their website. Like, not even any web development. It's like an app. And this is the pitch. On-ramp, whatever currency, CAD, AUD, USD, in 60 seconds. So if you're a crypto person, you know it's tough to get funds on chain. You got to use a bank. You got to use an exchange. You got to give somebody your ID or whatever. And this is buy crypto directly from your peers using any payment network, and it prompts you to get started. It's got a little widget. This seems too good to be true. So I went over to their Twitter And I see they've got 14,000 followers. They've got a link to this website, fast, permissionless, composable on and off ramp protocol, on ramp to Base, Solana, Hyperliquid, Plasma, Ethereum, and 20 plus other chains in 60 seconds. And now they've reached an all-time high of $1 million in monthly on-ramp volume, which is telling me that this is like a serious product team. They've got the yellow check marks, so they're paying money. That is, I don't know about you guys. I'd obviously need to dig more for proof in the pudding, but just on the surface, if they can do this, if we were giving it a grade, that's an A. I would look, again, this is a huge solution to a massive crypto problem. Am I nuts? Are you with me?
No, if it works and there's not some weird nonsense, I mean, would be interested in learning more for sure, because I think this is one of the biggest hurdles, is the dumpster fire that on-ramping often is.
Yeah, and the website, I actually like the little rhyme. If you want to learn more, we don't have time to dig into it deeper today. ZKP2P.xyz. It's giving Boys to Men ABC DVD. ZKP2P.xyz. Interesting. Okay. And the last thing I want to ask you guys about that maybe could be a good final thought to talk about is Bitcoin. Rob, hey Rob, thanks for the question, on Facebook wants to know, do you guys ever sell your Bitcoin or do you just accumulate it? Who wants to go first?
I have sold Bitcoin before, but like I think I did it like
William.
twice in my entire life. And then now I've just bought it for years. Yeah, because I was like, oh, I've made like tens of thousands of dollars. I should probably, like, I don't know, take a little bit here. I've done it twice since like 2017, 2018 when I first started buying Bitcoin. And I've only been buying it for years now, but like I've sold it before.
Tens of thousands is technically millions. For anybody who's doing the math.
This is true. That is true. It wasn't millions. It will be soon though. But no, like I've sold Bitcoin before. Like you shouldn't feel shame in selling any asset if you're making money. But like I really just buy Bitcoin. You know, I'm sure I'll sell more when it hits like $200,000 or $250,000. Whenever that day comes, I'll probably sell a little bit there, and then I'm not going to stop my buy of it every single day. But you know, just like how Alex says, you know, hit the sell button, and anyone who says hodl is usually not someone to listen to. Like, sell and take profits on anything, guys. Like, don't get emotionally attached. I am emotionally attached to Bitcoin. I absolutely am.
Don't get emotionally. I am
emotionally attached to Bitcoin, and I'll hit the sell button every now and again.
Well,
like every few years,
saying, just don't smoke, kids.
Don't smoke cigarettes, kid. But like, I do look cool. But like, I am emotionally attached to Bitcoin. I recognize that. You shouldn't do that to your financial assets. I recognize that I am. I understand that I have a problem. Because of that, I can address it. But like, you should learn to hit the sell button every now and again, particularly with things that you are emotionally attached to. And I'm open to selling Bitcoin, but like, I'm more open to buying it every single day. And right now I buy $20 of it every single day. That goes by. $20, boom, 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 boom. And then one day will come and I'll sell some Bitcoin one day again. But it's been like, I don't know, 3 years or 4 years or something since I last did that. But I'll do it again. And I'll do it again.
I'll do it again.
I'll do it again. I'd do it twice. We have so many good comments about this. A lot of never sells, a lot of I'm allergic to selling, becoming allergic to selling. I really like this comment from Apple, who said, I was always a good saver, but in fiat, so my money got diluted and debased. What about you, Alex? You Bitcoin seller?
I love that you said the word debased in that sentence, because we don't often put the two. It's being inflated and it's also being debased, and those are two different things. Yeah, no, I mean, I don't, but I don't have a ton. Like when I make money trading Solana, and some of those profits then go into Bitcoin, which is just a long-term, maybe someday. But, you know, I try to have like a Back to the Future 2 approach to it, you know, where we're going, we don't need roads. And I like to envision a future wherein I won't have to sell my Bitcoin, because just owning a bunch of it will afford me the option to use that to my advantage to get stuff, do stuff, take out loans, do whatever. So that's the goal. If Bitcoin went to $200,000 tomorrow, then I would probably consider, even on that one, taking some profits. And I would hope that I would have enough profits on altcoins that went along for at least a partial bit of the ride to do that with too. But generally, no. I have actually never to this day sold any Bitcoin. Never once.
Yeah. Nor have I.
Have you ever used it in a transaction? Like you used it to buy something?
Oh, nope. Savings.
I've used it to pay people. I know a lot of people do like that.
I've used it to buy Bitcoin conference tickets twice before, because I was like, oh, this is cool. What I would use it for, because I'm going to go to the Bitcoin conference, I'll do the Bitcoin thing. And
I've
also
paid people in Sol, ETH, USDC.
Other currencies.
Just those.
Yeah, I have used it for that, mostly to pay people. I have a hard time wanting to pay. My goal is to turn every dollar I can into Bitcoin. That was the quit smoking thing that we were doing. You were like, Evan, how much money do you spend on cigarettes? And I was like, well, I spend this much. He's like, but how much would it actually have been since the time you started buying cigarettes, considering Bitcoin's trajectory? And it was more money than I would have liked to have part of it. It was like $75,000.
I loved asking that question to you, where I was like, how much money have you spent over, monthly usually? What's that a year?
$1,500 a year. It's not that much.
You start putting that into Bitcoin. What was that worth today? And it was like, oh, hey, this is a $30,000 smoking problem that I have.
It was painful. So thank you for that, my friends. And shout out to all the people in the comments who have all the balanced, reasonable perspectives on this. The Coinbase card lovers. I went to the fair last night and bought everything I could with my Coinbase credit card because that gave me a little cash back rewards, but not cash back, Bitcoin back. I use river.com like some of the people to do what Will does, to buy a little bit of Bitcoin every day so that my dollars don't just sit there and get debased and get inflated, but become Bitcoin, which does not. So guys, that is our show. I'm going to come to you for a final thought in just a second, but I want to say one more time, if you're not in the Rise Up community, you didn't get your question answered, that's the place for it. We're going to be live back here tomorrow and every Monday through Thursday at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. Our episodes live forever on YouTube, on your favorite podcast platform, but all the links, and the most important link, rumshq.com, rumshq.com. Everything is there, including the community, where the only thing missing is you. So, Will, do you have a final thought for us before we take our show on the road for the day?
I'll see you guys tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for Market Watch Monday with myself and Doug. We'll be on for an hour, and we'll take a look at all the main charts that we're looking at, and then we'll take your guys' suggestions, and we'll just boom, boom, boom. Tonight's episode, I want to get back to just fast-paced. Hey guys, give us 3 coins. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, 3 minutes went by. Give us 3 more coins. Boom, 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 boom. More charts. I want to get through like 20 different suggestions from folks, if not like 25 of them over the past over like an hour. So I want to like slam through some charts that you guys want us to take a look at. So we'll do that tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. If you're watching this on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter, same place here. Otherwise, it will be on my TikTok as well. So catch us there.
Can I make a request for the
Alex,
light?
final thoughts. Sure,
I love this purple light thing you got going, and I think that's a good theme for the morning show because it matches our logo. I'm going to definitely do some of that, but I think Market Watch could have some green in the background. I think we need that money, baby. Just a thought. I could see some.
Well,
green.
you got to change the color depending on what it's doing.
I think I have.
There's a dumping.
I think I have a good idea because it'll match the Market Watch Monday logo better. So I have an idea.
I love it. I love, Will, that you have become a producer. You're gonna be a producer.
Evan's like, oh my God, you'll be able to one day take some of my work.
You really are killing it. You've gone from a guy who's like hosting his own fake radio show to the host of Rise Up Market Watch in a very short amount of time, I would say.
Hey, I also had a whole studio rented out. I had a professional videographer this weekend.
Yeah. We got to get nothing on that tomorrow.
I mean, I don't think the content's gonna be great because it didn't come out exactly as I wanted, but I learned a lot. So it's gonna end up being about a $2,000 lesson, and I've had far more expensive lessons in the crypto space. So I will pay $2,000 to learn because I know what I need to do next. I wanted to make like some high quality content that does better on YouTube and Instagram and stuff. And I didn't quite do that here, but I learned and I will next time.
You sent us that picture of the setup. It was beautiful. The equipment was like intense. And then your friend, is it Danny? Danny?
Yeah, Danny.
He was like, adjusting, and Will was like, he's in the zone. I was like, dude, he is the zone.
Yeah. So Danny does work for the Red Sox, and like he works with David Ortiz, and he's really fucking good as a videographer. So it's nice having a friend. He gave me a little friend discount, but still things were expensive.
Does he get hired out, or is he like a you know guy? Because if he's got a link, we could put it in the comments just as for the
yeah, he has a website and all that.
I will put it in the description. It's below if you want it. Danny, shout out. Thanks for making Will look good.
Thanks, man.
Alex, final thoughts?
Nope.
Also, our name on Instagram is the Rise Up Morning Show. FYI, saw the question.
You know, I realize I always say no, and then I give one anyway.
Yeah, I've realized that too. But I like that about you.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time.
Yeah, I mean, Alex has a really hard time ending conversations.
I like that Alex has hosted this show for, I don't know how long, and knows I'm going to ask him about a final thought every day.
Every day.
But that's why we work together well, because I've got the same kind of brain. I would be like, do I have a final thought? I don't know. Maybe.
Ooh, I do have a question for Alex though. Do you use Comet with Perplexity? Is that the thing that you use to connect to all the stuff?
That's the browser.
That's the AI assistant kind of thing. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
I did send you both invites.
Yeah, I need a fresh invite, or
Is
tell
that
me.
on ClickUp?
I'll try it.
If you need a fresh one, I can't help
Send
you.
me a fresh one.
Well, I mean, where is it? Send me a fresh post, a fresh.
I just
It's in your
downloaded
email.
the comment thing, so I don't know if I just ruined your invite and
No,
ruined your
no.
bonuses.
I think that maybe when I had invited you, it wasn't available for download. It was like an early access thing because I.
Yeah, so I just downloaded it.
Yeah.
I'll experiment with it. Except I just downloaded it. Except I should have that new computer either today or tomorrow. It's stuck in like Waltham, Massachusetts. I don't know what's going on.
Bearish.
Okay, Alex, you've been asked a question, but do you have a thought of your own?
That doesn't count.
It counts, and that's our show.
How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood, Alex?
42.
Correct.
Thank you very much for tuning into another great episode of the Rise Up Morning Show, where you are the very best part of what we do. We say it because it's true. My friends, until next time, everybody stay safe, be well, rise up.